There are seasons in life that no one prepares you for. Seasons where you wake up every single morning carrying a weight so heavy that even breathing feels like a battle. You smiled on the outside, but on the inside, you were barely holding on. You prayed, but the silence felt so loud, it almost convinced you that no one was listening. You gave everything you had, your faith, your strength, your time, your tears, and still, nothing seemed to move, nothing seemed to change. And in those quiet, lonely moments, when the night stretched on forever and sleep refused to come, you whispered the hardest question a heart can ask. God, did any of this even matter? I need you to stop right here, because what God wants to whisper to you today, right now, in this very moment, is the answer to that question. And the answer is yes. Every single tear mattered. Every prayer you cried out in the dark mattered. Every seed you planted in pain and sacrifice, in faith that felt like it was barely alive, it all mattered. And not only did it matter, it is now beginning to bear fruit. You see, there is a truth that the enemy does not want you to understand. He wants you to look at your past pain and see only loss. He wants you to look at the years that felt wasted and feel only regret. He wants you to measure your life by what hasn't happened yet, by the doors that haven't opened, by the relationships that broke, by the dreams that seemed to die before they ever had the chance to live. But God sees something entirely different. God does not measure your life by your losses. He measures it by the seeds, and you, beloved, you have been sowing seeds in the most difficult soil imaginable. You sowed seeds when you chose to forgive someone who never even said they were sorry. You sowed seeds when you kept showing up for your family even when you were running on empty. You sowed seeds when you got on your knees in the middle of the night and said, Lord, I don't understand, but I still trust you. You sowed seeds when you kept believing even after the diagnosis, even after the betrayal, even after the door slammed shut in your face. Those were not wasted moments. Those were not signs that God had forgotten you. Those were seeds going deep into the ground, and deep roots take time. Think about a farmer for a moment. A farmer does not plant a seed in the morning and expect a harvest by the afternoon. He plants in faith. He waters in patience. He watches the sky. He tends the soil. He trusts the process, even when he cannot see a single thing happening beneath the surface. And there is always a moment, a long, agonizing moment, where the ground looks completely bare, where there is no sign of life, where doubt creeps in and whispers, maybe nothing is growing, maybe the seed died, maybe you wasted your time. But the farmer knows something that doubt doesn't. He knows that the most important work is happening underground, out of sight, in the hidden place, in the dark. That is exactly where God has been working in your life. He has been working in the hidden place, in the waiting, in the silence, in the seasons you were certain nothing was happening. He was tending the roots of something so beautiful, so significant, so perfectly timed that if he had shown it to you too soon, you would not have been ready to receive it. The delay was not rejection. The silence was not abandonment. The darkness was not the end of your story. It was the soil. It was the process. It was God being faithful to every single seed you ever planted in faith. And now, right now, something is shifting. Can you feel it? There is a stirring in the spirit. There is a movement happening that your eyes may not fully see yet, but your heart already knows. Because God is whispering to you today with a tenderness that only a father can carry, and he is saying, what you sowed in tears is now bearing fruit. Do not despise the season you are coming out of. I know it was hard. I know there were days you questioned everything, your worth, your purpose, your faith, your future. I know there were moments where the pain was so real, so raw, that you couldn't even find the words to pray. You just sat there, broken and silent. And somehow that silence became the deepest prayer you ever offered. And God heard every single word of it. He heard the cries you swallowed. He heard the prayers you couldn't finish. He heard the worship you offered through gritted teeth when nothing in your circumstances gave you a reason to praise. He heard all of it, and he kept every single tear in a bottle, because to him, not one drop was wasted. There is a verse that has carried millions of people through their darkest valleys, and it carries a weight that goes far deeper than most people realize. It says that those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Not maybe, not possibly, not if conditions are right and everything works out perfectly. It says they shall reap. That is a promise, wrapped in certainty. That is God putting his name on the harvest of your pain. And beloved, if God signed his name to it, then no devil in hell, no closed door, no past mistake, no delay, And no amount of doubt can stop what He has already declared over your life. Your harvest is coming, and it is not coming in the form of a small, quiet, barely noticeable blessing. God does not repay tears with crumbs. He repays them with abundance. He repays them with overflow. He repays them with the kind of blessing that makes people around you stop and say, "What happened to them?" Something is different. Something has changed. The favor on their life is undeniable. That is the harvest God is preparing for you. Not just enough to survive, enough to overflow into the lives of everyone around you. Because the seeds you planted in pain were never just for you. They were always for something bigger than you could see from where you were standing. Think about what you have been through. Think about the fire you walked through and came out of still breathing. Think about the night that felt like it would last forever and the morning that came anyway. Think about the moment you were sure it was over and God opened a door that no one could shut. You are still here. You are still standing. And that is not an accident. That is not luck. That is the faithfulness of a God who never once looked away from you, not even in your worst moment, not even when you felt completely invisible to the rest of the world. He saw you. He sees you right now. And He is telling you today that everything you poured out in faith is about to pour back into your life in ways you are not even fully prepared for yet. So here is what God is asking of you in this moment. He is asking you to lift your eyes. He is asking you to shift your gaze from the empty field of yesterday to the harvest that is breaking through the ground today. He is asking you to release the grief of the waiting season and step forward into the receiving season with open hands and an expectant heart. Stop rehearsing the loss. Stop replaying the pain. Stop letting the enemy use your memory against your miracle. Because you are not going back. You are going forward. And where you are going is more beautiful than anything you left behind. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is the morning after the longest night of your life, and God Himself is standing at the edge of your harvest, calling your name and whispering with all the love and authority of heaven. Rise up. Walk forward. What you sowed in tears is now bearing fruit. The ground is breaking open. The blessing is rising, and it has your name written all over it to thank it. Believe it. Step into it. Your harvest is here. If this message touched something deep inside of you today, it was not by accident. God directed your steps to this moment because He wanted you to hear it directly from Him. Your tears were never wasted, your faith was never forgotten, and your harvest is closer than you think. Share this video with someone who is still waiting in the dark and needs to know that morning is coming. Leave a comment below and tell God thank you for the harvest He is already releasing over your life. Subscribe and stay close, because God is not finished speaking. Your best days are not behind you, they are ahead.